3-in-1 Fellowship's Wednesday night Psalms of Summer. For those that don't know who I am, I'm Janet Oursler, Pastor Rick's wife. Today, I chose Psalm 27 because 1, it's my favorite, and 2, I believe it is an example from David on how to face the trials of life and what we have to do to be able to conquer those trials. David was a man of faith, but he also had feelings of anxiety. We admire people who exhibit confidence, strength, and courage. What we don't realize is that they did not become that way automatically. Perhaps they learned courage through a series of hard times. Or perhaps they learned faith through education and discipline. Outwardly, they generally appear strong, but inwardly they are torn with the reality of evil, the stresses of life, and even their humanness. After our second child was born, let's just kind of say 30-ish years ago, I could not lose the baby fat that I had gained. I tried everything. Fad diets, even cabbage soup diet, anything I could think of to try to lose weight. And instead of losing weight, I would gain, then lose, gain, and lose. And during the time, I, of course, would let everyone know that I was on a diet because when they brought out the cake, of course, I wouldn't be able to eat it. This yo-yo dieting went on for, let's say, 20-ish years. Well, I had heard about a surgery called gastric bypass. This is where your stomach is made smaller, therefore you eat less, and thus you lose weight. It is a very serious surgery, normally for people that are severely obese, which I actually was. Also, I had blood pressure problems and high cholesterol issues. My mother had died from a stroke, and my father, at age 54, had died from a heart attack. So therefore, I knew that I had to do something drastic. So when the surgery was actually over, people wanted to know why I had not told them I was having this kind of surgery. My response was that I was afraid of failing again, the way I had done with all the dieting for those many, many years. I was not confident enough to tell my friends that I was having the surgery. How do we live with confidence? How do we know we can stay on track? First, David turned to God. He turned to God in dark times and he trusted in God. Trust requires more than just thinking about God. Trust requires us to surrender, living with the assurance that God is in control, not us. I'm going to read all 14 verses of Psalm 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation, so why should I be afraid? The Lord is my fortress, protecting me from danger. So why should I tremble? When evil people come to devour me, when my enemies and foes attack me, they will stumble and they will fall. Though a mighty army surrounds me, my heart will not be afraid. Even if I am attacked, I will remain confident. The one thing I ask of the Lord, the thing I seek the most, is to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, delighting in the Lord's perfections and meditating in his temple. For he will conceal me there when troubles come. He will hide me in his sanctuary. He will place me out of reach on a high rock. Then I will hold my head high above my enemies who surround me. At his sanctuary I will offer sacrifices with shouts of joy, singing and praising the Lord with music. Hear me as I pray, O Lord. Be merciful and answer me. My heart has heard you say, "Come and talk with me." And my heart responds, "Lord, I am coming." Do not turn your back on me. Do not reject your servant in anger. You have always been my helper. Don't leave me now. Don't abandon me, O God of my salvation. Even if my father and my mother abandon me, the Lord will hold me close. Teach me how to live, O Lord. Lead me along the right path, for my enemies are waiting for me. Do not let me fall into their hands, for they accuse me of things I have never done. With every breath they threaten me with violence. Yet I am confident I will see the Lord's goodness while I am here in the land of the living. Wait patiently for the Lord. Be brave and courageous. Yes, wait patiently for the Lord. The first 6 verses that I read emphasizes David telling and asking God to be completely in charge, setting himself aside for God, which is what we are all called to do. Yet too often we wonder why our lives are such a struggle as we hold onto control. Secondly, David referred to God as light and salvation. Since he was in a period of darkness, he needed to see his way clear. What he needed was instruction. He said in verse 11, "Teach me how to live, O Lord, and lead me on a level path, for my enemies are waiting for me." This is where the weekly worship comes in. For me, weekly worship gives us an opportunity to receive instruction and direction. Without a disciplined spiritual life, we are lost. Instead of living in confidence, our faith is weak and we are anxious over many, many things. Just as David needed to learn, we also need to learn. Finally, David reminds us that faith in God does not spare us from trials and tribulations. Rather, faith in God enables us to live with courage and live with hope. David had his share of turmoil. His faith was repeatedly tested again and again. As our faith has been tested during this time of COVID-19, but we have not given up. He too never gave up. He didn't let persecution, setbacks, or struggles get the best of him. He kept on believing in God because he had courage and hope. When we have hope, we can live in confidence. And God's people all said, "Amen and amen." I want to thank you for joining us for our Wednesday midweek worship, and I hope you join us on Friday on Facebook Live for share and prayer, or rather, I think it's called prayer and share. Got that confused. And then worship with us on Sunday at 10 a.m., either in person or online at www.3in1fellowship.org. Till we see each other again, I wish you God's blessings, and may you turn to God for confidence and for hope.